Hey there, and welcome to the Art Bit Clips. I love to use collage pieces that I've created with scraps of my artwork. I love to save all of these little pieces because then I can use them later in other projects. And for this one, I thought it would be kind of fun to create these little embellishments to put on my bigger clips that I use when I'm art journaling just to kind of hold my pages. And I just think they look really cool, and with all the scraps I've got, it just made sense to try to do it. So I found these black clips on Amazon, and I like them because they're matte black and they're a little bit flatter on the top, so you can actually place different things on them rather than the round ones. These are a little bit easier to work with. And then I'm just going to use some magic tape or Wonder Tape, I think it's called, and use that to attach it. So it's super easy. There's only a few steps to do it. And I just like to place down my different pieces of different scraps, whether they're circles or whether they're rectangles or squares. I think it just depends on what you're really interested in. And then I like to take a paper clip and just attach the paper clip, and then I can see sort of what my different placements look like. And then I can just kind of keep layering the pieces over and over until I get a variety that I like. And then I can decide, yep, that works. And these are really good as well for embellishing on journal pages too. But I kind of like the rectangle length. The circle looks good too, but I really want to be able to put some ribbon in the top where the little hole is, so I want to make sure that that doesn't get really covered up. So I'm just going to keep layering pieces down, and I like to create a variety where there's maybe a little bit of contrast, maybe there's a little bit of color change, like some black with some color. And of course, I'll end up taking these and stitching these as well before I place them on. But this is a great way to do it. I just kind of keep layering them down and going through my stash as I do this. And then if I already have some pre-made ones that I've got in my stash, so I might end up cutting them, I might trim them down, but I really kind of like the rectangular look, so I think I might end up doing that. And that looks pretty good. I kind of like it. But I'm going to keep playing with it and decide once I get some more pieces layered. So I encourage you to go through your stash and start looking at different pieces that you've got and just start layering pieces up. Use circles, squares, rectangle shapes, whatever you really like, and start working on those to see what strikes your fancy. Now that I've gotten the pieces that I really like, and I think I'm going to go with the rectangular shape, I'm going to go ahead and place them exactly how I want them, and then I'll use a glue stick just to tack them in place. Now I also like the idea of having some of the embellished parts on it to sort of come off over the side. So if you can look, you can see that the little round circle kind of goes over the edge. I kind of like the way that looks. It just makes it look nicer once you put it on the clip. And the stitching, I think, will be an added benefit as well. And you can see some of the contrast with the black. So I'm going to use black thread and also have a little bits of embellishment that are black that I'll put on there just to kind of give some contrast to it as well, which is nice because we have black on the clip, which is perfect. So I'm just going to cut a little bit out of this scrap here. I think those little lines look really good. And I think if I place just a little snippet of that on there, it will really make a difference in how overall how it will look. Now I can put the little bit on there lengthwise, which I like, but I think it might just need to be maybe sideways on there, I think, rather than long ways. So test your papers and kind of move them around in different ways. And yeah, I think that one looks pretty good like that. And so I'll just use a glue stick to tack down the various pieces that I've created and that I like. And then once I get them done, I'll go ahead and throw them in the sewing machine. Well, not throw them, but just place them in and just use a straight stitch to embellish them. And then we'll be ready to attach them to our clips. Okay, now that my little bits have been stitched and they are exactly how I want them to be, I'm gonna put the sari ribbon. You can use any kind of ribbon, but sari, S-A-R-I ribbon is really nice, and it's very fine, and it's just really crinkly and pretty. So I'm gonna take a couple of pieces of the ribbon and I'm just gonna fold it in half, and then I can use that to pull that little loop up through the clip attachment, or the clip hole, and then pull the tails through it, and then it's now attached. And you can do one ribbon or two. It just depends on how much you want, how much embellishment you want on there, and then you can just trim it down if it's too long. But I think the ribbon really does add to it. And you can just pick different colors. You can do, like I said, one, or you can pick two. I think these colors look really pretty with that, but one or two is perfect. And then just trim it to fit and attach it, and you're good to go. You can also use lace or, you know, sheer chiffon. There's a lot of different things that you can use, but the sari ribbon is really nice. And you can buy those in different rolls and quantities. You can use them for all kinds of things. All right, now once that is finished, we're going to use the Wonder Tape to attach to the clip. And the Wonder Tape is double-sided, so it's got adhesive on both sides. You can just place it down. I'm going to put it sort of in the middle of the clip and then press down, and then I'll trim off the excess there. And then keep pressing it down until it's nice and smooth. Now these clips do have a little bit of a ridge, but they're still pretty flat. And then you just want to pull off the backing of the Wonder Tape, and sometimes I'll use a little needle if I can't quite get my fingernail underneath it. And then you just want to position your art bit to where you want it. Now the part that has the little bit of art overhanging, I kind of like to have that at the top, and you want to press down once you get it in position to make sure that it's attached. You could use, I suppose, maybe a gel medium. I don't think that the glue stick would quite work as well, but you could use, I'm sure, gel medium. Now I'm going to trim the extra excess off the edges of these. I think it's a little too long, but it's a good time once you've attached it to decide if you want to trim it off. Now for this one, same thing. If you notice on the first one I did, the art bit portion actually overhangs the bottom of the clip. So if you want to attach the art bit to where it's not quite overhanging, you can attach it to where it's a little bit up. And you'll see on this one where I attach it up a little bit higher. So I'm going to place that down, and then again, the embellished part or the raised part that's over the edge is at the top. Now you can see where there's a little bit of the clip showing at the bottom. So you can do it either way. I wanted to kind of show it to you both ways. It doesn't matter if it's all the way over or if it shows a little bit, kind of like it's showing a little bit of the black there at the bottom, but either way is fine. And then just make sure you press it and it's secure. And then just trim off any excess on the ribbons. And look at how cool those are. I think these make really great gifts. And they look a lot prettier, don't you think, than having just the plain ones in your journal. So let's take a look and see what it looks like attached to the journal. This is my salvage journal I call DJ. So we're just gonna find a page in here and let's attach it up at the top so we can see what that looks like. Now, doesn't that look really pretty? And I still think these would make nice gifts for an art journal friend, or I mean, you can use them to hold papers together. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your journal, but you can use them for a lot of different things. But I think they look really pretty. Yeah, those look good. All right, so thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I sure hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing the ones that you create.